back here once again with your favorite youth television program. This is the Meet Your Mentor TV show. My name is Daniela Asaredi. We're coming to you from the Central University Matahiku campus. My makeup was done by Nordy's Makeover, and we're being refreshed by Cheesy Pizza. My guest for today is a phenomenal woman who's generally passionate about making the world a better place. I'll tell you more about her right after this break. You're welcome back. No man is capable of self-improvement if he sees no other model but himself. And we are committed to sharing with you personalities and stories in whom you can find models. My guest for today is Sylvia Senu. She is an economic analyst and the youth focal person with the UNDP. She has extensive experience in research and development work. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Sylvia Senu. Hello, you're welcome.
Hello,
please.
Daniela.
Okay. Hello, Sylvia.
Hello, Daniela.
Thank you so much for making time to have a conversation with us.
The pleasure is mine.
Awesome. All right, so what you do is, it's not part of the mainstream things that as a Ghanaian child, you know, they would expect to do. So we want to be doctors, we want to be lawyers, we want to be, but how did you develop the passion for research? And what was the trajectory of, events that led you into what you do today?
That's quite a question. I think it's quite packed, yeah. Well, I wouldn't say I'm the only economic analyst or a young Ghanaian who is into economics and analysis. I think there are other people that at least I know about. But if you ask concerning my own personal journey, right, I would probably want to start from the early days. As a young girl, I was very shy, quite a bit more reflective as a child. My mom has two of us, right, two girls. So, and my elder sister is more, open, and I was a bit more shy. But my teachers identified that I was quite intelligent. They advised my mom on what to do with me, right, basically. So they encouraged her to give me the best of education, of course, and my dad as well, right, to give me the best of education. So it starts from there. Okay. And then when I was in primary school, I was really in a smaller school, and I was always topping my class. My headmistress really loved me, and I was that kind of kid. Right. But I had to do a transition to JHS, where I needed to go into a bigger school, because the school I was in was a preparatory school, and they didn't have a continuing JHS for continuing students. So here I took exams to enter into JHS, and then I got swallowed. All my intelligence evaporated because this school was much bigger. Right. And it was more competitive. Yes, it was more competitive, and the students in the class were more. So if in my previous school we were just about 20 in the class, here we had about 50 in the class. Right. And my performance wasn't so good. And I think I lacked all my self-confidence then. And I became aware of the fact that I wasn't doing well when an assessment was made, and all of us were grouped into, first 60, second 60. I found myself in the last 60, and I couldn't believe it. I knew that wasn't me, yes. So I resolved to improve that performance. So year on year, semester after semester, I kept improving till the very last time I completed. Thankfully, I made good grades. That took me into Ghana National College. So you've hinted a bit at it, but what background did you come from? And what schools did you go to? And how did those shape you into the woman you are today? Yeah. So as I was narrating earlier, I found my way into Ghana National College, where I did my secondary education. Right. There I read economics, I read maths, elective maths, and I read geography. And I think that one of the defining moments there was really our economics classes. Right. We had a teacher who was an elderly man. He was called Mr. Mensah. and till date I think I remember him. And you know, the way he went about teaching economics really made me love economics.
Right.
So anytime I picked my books, I found myself more, you know, spending a bit more time with economics than with geography and with maths. But tell you what, my dad was a lawyer and had just been a judge, a tribunal judge, when I was admitted to Ghana National College. And all this while, he knew that Sylvia would be a lawyer. Because Sylvia is a bit more assertive, you know, and he found that I could do well in law. But upon going to secondary school, I defined my path in economics, and then I knew I wanted to read economics going forward. So when I completed college, I, of course, took the forms, applied to different universities in Ghana. But whilst I was waiting for the admissions to university, my mom told me about a scholarship. And that was really the Ghana-Russian scholarship. It's a partnership between the government of Ghana and then the Russian Federation. And she told me, Sylvia, apply, even as you're waiting for, you know, them to call you in the University of Ghana. Then I said, okay. I applied, went through the process. Well, I started my university education here. I started reading economics in the University of Ghana. And then 2 weeks into, you know, into reading and then starting university, I got the admission also for the Russian university. So I had to leave. And then I left and I continued there to read, of course, economics. But before you read economics, I had to do a year's reading of, well, they call it the preparatory course, which is really to orient students and, you know, newcomers with their own language, because the mode of teaching was in the Russian language. So I was in the Don Technical University for a year, where myself and other colleagues from all over the world had to learn Russia. We learned the Russian language, interacting in Russia. We took specific subjects, you know, so if it's maths, you learn maths in Russian. You learn a bit of science in Russian.
How was that for you? Wasn't it a huge, you know, jump from what you knew?
Yeah, I think that was my initial path to independence. I always say, because before leaving to Russia, I hadn't really traveled out of Ghana, and I didn't know A, B, C, D of Russian. But here I really needed to start from scratch, and not for myself alone, but other students I met who were coming from other countries. So basically, the program is well strategized to really bring any person from scratch. You learn the alphabets, you learn how to say mama, papa, like a child who is learning, right? So it is structured well to teach and really get people to speak and learn the language. Write, learn, speak, and then communicate in the language. So after that, I went on to the Rostov State Economic University. So here is when I'm going to do the main course, and there I read international economics. So that is where I started from taking lessons in international economics, and then from there I graduated. You know, so but I have to say that it's not a first degree course. Yeah, the system in Russia has a system where you can take a crash program that would award you a master's. Yeah, so it's a 5 years course. So it's called a specialist, course. Yeah. So from there I came back home because per the agreement you needed to come home to serve your country. So I came back home to do my national service. Fortunately, I was admitted to the National Development Planning Commission, where I did my service. I was attached to the Plan Coordination Unit. And there, again, I was a bit more curious about how the processes of national development planning went. I learned quite a bit there. But while there, I met another colleague of ours who I found that at his spare time was always inputting data onto the computer. And I was always that curious, and I was like, Michael, what is this about? He told me that he's helping some research work at the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research. And I was really interested, so I prepared my CV, gave it to him to drop it there so I could be invited. So I got invited to interview with the ESA, we call them ESA for short. And whilst I was being interviewed, the people on the panel were like, no, Sylvia, we can't hire you to do data entry. We think you are overqualified. And I insisted that, look, this is not a permanent job.
Right.
This is just for, keeping me busy. And they insisted, no, we'd be wasting human resource if we did. So then they didn't give me the job. But they promised that they'll give me another opportunity. So I had to wait a bit for that opportunity to come true. But during the period of waiting, I built myself.
Right.
I took courses with Lene, and then I applied for other opportunities because I didn't know, I felt it wasn't assured. So I got an offer from Fidelity Bank. And there I was supposed to help with the sales of their products. I went through the course. I mean, they had an orientation for all their new employees, and I went through it. I was even class rep. And then on the last day, Isa called. Isa called. And I was torn between sticking with Fidelity Bank or going with Isa. But the little instinct in me, and then the few calls I made told me, go with Isa. So I went with Isa, gave my best on the training that were being provided. And apparently, that call wasn't really the opportunity they had talked about. That opportunity was to prepare me for the opportunity that they had talked about, which is to be a research assistant on a project. So I basically had to leave home, go to field. We went to very interesting places I had never been in my life, around Kweu, really some difficult communities to be on tarred roads, hungry children. Yeah, so you see the poverty that is really with the people, and we were really trying to improve the lives of these people who were predominantly farmers. So with the Millennium Challenge account, we're doing farmer-based organization trainings and support for some of these farmers. And so that was really a good base or foundation for me. I learned a lot, because if my education outside gave me that macro background, now I'm having to deal with the microeconomic issues, and the realities of it, and how people really face what we call poverty.
We've been interacting with Sylvia Senu, who's an economic analyst and the youth focal person with the UNDP. We'll be right back. You're welcome back. This is the Meet Your Mentor TV show. My name is Daniela Asaredi. We've been interacting with Sylvia Senu, who's an economic analyst and a youth focal person with the UNDP. We're being refreshed by Cheesy Pizza. You can reach Cheesy Pizza on 026-4133-397. That's 026-4133-397. My makeup was done by Nordy's Makeover. Thank you once again for giving us the opportunity to do this. We want to find out, as an economic analyst and the youth focal person with UNDP, what exactly does your job entail?
I happen to work with the inclusive development cluster. So how we are structured currently at the country office, at the UNDP country office, is that we have 3 clusters. We have one cluster which focuses a bit on environment and its related issues, and then we have another cluster that focuses on governance, peace, and other related issues. And the inclusive development cluster focuses on policy and inclusion issues. So that's where I am attached to. And my job really entails doing analysis, writing reports, making inputs into economic briefs, preparing speeches, and other really, related stuff. Preparing the country program document and the like. So it's quite a bit more of documents and policy work. Yeah, that's my job entails. But over the years, of course, the work there has also evolved to include work with youth. And I think I was made the youth focal person because they identify that I'm quite passionate about the youth. Yeah, so I am the youth focal person, and here all related issues pertaining to youth are directed to my desk, to look into. But also because I do the advocacy where we try to mobilize young people around the global agenda, and mainly these are young people who we advocate, with. That is also because of that. And so I work with young people. Currently, I'm excited to talk about the Youth Connect platform, which we have in Ghana. It's a regional program which started in Rwanda and currently is in Ghana. We launched it in 2019. And right after launching it, we also launched the Youth Innovation for Sustainable Development Challenge. And with this challenge, what we did was to award some 16 young innovators. We gave them the support of a 5,000 USD and then business development support with the Ashesi Design Lab.
Sylvia, if you were sharing with us the values that drive you, the values that have driven you till now, and the values that you continue to abide by that will drive you in the next few years, and you were to share with us top 3, what would they be?
Wow. Top 3, I would mention one, continuous learning.
Right.
Yeah, I think we can't stop learning. And I'm a curious person by nature. I like to find out things. And really that empowers me in many ways. It makes me feel that I can do all things.
Right.
Even when I feel I do not know, I know that once I set my mind to know, I would know and then I can do it.
Right.
So I think that is one of the traits that I like to talk to young people about, continuous learning. But I also always want to talk about confidence. Yeah, because I was a shy girl, but the turning point for me was when I became aware of who I am and why I'm on earth, and the fact that I'm no mean a person, but a wonderful creature by God. And so I like to tell people about the fact that they have to know who they are, the relevance and the importance that God put on them to place them here on earth, And so you find your purpose, you understand who you are, you wear your confidence wherever you are, and it defines you. But professionally, and also personally, I'm really all out for transparency and accountability.
Right.
I'm one person who really likes openness, and I like for people to account, whether it has to do with money or relationship or information, whatever it may be. I really live by those values.
Right.
So I do not like people who are shady. I like people who are transparent and straightforward with me. Yeah.
Right.
So, and I think that really is one of the things that young people should also, take on. Transparency and openness can take you places.
What have you noticed about young people's attitude towards life generally? Are there any observations you can share with us?
Yeah, young people are not one homogeneous group.
True.
Yeah, they are really different types of young people.
True.
I sometimes come across very assertive young people, and I sometimes come across, young people who really think that everybody owes them everything. Yes. So there are different kind of young people, but overall, I think that we have quite an innovative resource in some of these young people that we are really not tapping fully into. And also because we've not positioned ourselves to bring them up in terms of for them to really explore what their talents are, what makes them happy, and the focus is always on, I have to finish class, I have to finish school, get a job, and then, you know, cater for myself. Over time, we've positioned our young people to a certain way of living where the thinking is more towards money, 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 and not really towards the love of country, the love of people, the love of humanity, and other things. So when I meet young people, I like to speak about the fact that nobody owes you anything. You owe yourself everything. So you can develop yourself if you decide to. You have a phone, you can go online and read. And that's why I spoke about the continuous learning.
We'll take a question from our audience.
So, Madam, please, would you say that our school system here in Ghana is part of the reason most young people are not innovative enough? Because, say, for example, we go to school and then we have this mindset, or they inculcate this mindset into us that you go to school, you get good grades, you complete, and then you get a very good job, you'll be doing well, and then you'll be happy. And then it turns out that you finish the school, you may get a good grades, all right, but then you don't get a job, or the job you are looking for, which they always tell us that will be the result after getting a good grade. And then sometimes frustrations tend to set in and everything.
I think it's a packed question, but I always want to step it back to the home. I really believe it starts from the home, where mothers, fathers, caretakers have to realize that people or human beings are not only human beings, but they are filled with many different capacities, even at younger ages. You know, their personalities have to be shaped, their talents have to be tapped, so that they can be really what they probably have to be. We like to pitch it at the academic level, but I believe that yes, we could improve our system to incorporate a bit more of technical vocational education and also STEM. But if right from the basis we do not really incorporate that idea of you can be whatever you want to be based on your interest areas, then even if we have that, probably we are not going to get too much out of it. But if we encourage that as a basis from the home, then we can have people continuing. Because you know that people, even with this current education system that we complain so much about, there are people who have defied the odds, they are into arts, culture, they are doing amazing things, which, I mean, you wouldn't think that this is the normal way to go. So it's really at that basics of setting the mindset and allowing your ward or your kid to know that they could just, you know, be who they are. Now there are many different initiatives supporting young people who are thinking ahead of the curve, who are bringing out the little that they can. So you know how to sew, you are sewing, you can get support to sew. You know how to manufacture, recycle, let's say plastics, you get support and you do it big. So now jobs are not only what we know them as jobs, as office jobs. Jobs are solving problems.
True.
Any problem you can find, any problem that you can give a solution to would employ not only you, but also your fellow young people. So it's really open, big opportunities out there because we have so many problems. And the many problems we have are the opportunities that young people can bring their thinking to, and then, you know, bring those solutions that we need, thereby what's giving them the jobs.
Wow, this has been really, really insightful. I feel like I can go and build a plane right now because
I mean,
and we're so glad that you could share it with us. Problems are definitely opportunities. And we want to thank you also for doing the viewing at home. This has been the Meet Your Mentor TV show. We interacted with Sylvia Senu, who is an economic analyst and youth focal person with the UNDP here in Ghana. My name is Daniela Saredu. I am your proud host. My makeup was by Nodi's Makeover, and we were refreshed by Cheesy Pizza. Please reach out to them on social media. They have branches all across the city, in Osu, Ring Road Central, Adenta, etc. And they have amazing pizza. Until we come your way same time next week with another enlightening conversation, do take care.